Let's dive right into this explainer, where we're going to break down the narrative anatomy of a 50-second cinematic script titled The Reward of Honesty. We often think that great storytelling requires hours of screen time, right? Like a massive novel or some long, drawn-out character arc. But what happens when you literally only have less than a minute to convey deep, resonant meaning? Well, today, we're popping the hood on a highly specific, ultra-realistic visual prompt to see exactly how it uses visual cues, precise pacing, and subtle psychological shifts to tell a complete, emotionally satisfying story. Let's unpack it. Right out of the gate, we're hit with this profound idea. True success is not in what we keep, but in earning the pleasure of Allah. The creators absolutely do not bury the lead here. By stating straight up that true success isn't tied to physical possessions, this thought acts as the ultimate anchor for the entire 50-second journey. Every single visual choice, camera angle, and character action we're about to explore is reverse engineered from this exact spiritual thesis. It tells us immediately that this isn't just a simple story about finding lost property. It's really about the ultimate currency of faith. Okay, let's talk pacing, because the precision here is wild. In just 50 seconds, we get a complete 5-act structure. We spend the first 8 seconds grounding ourselves in the setting, another 8 seconds for the inciting incident, then a full 10 seconds dedicated entirely to an internal psychological choice, which is massive in a format this short. After that, 12 seconds for the climax, and the final 12 for the resolution and moral takeaway. It just proves that you don't need a ton of time to build a compelling narrative arc. You just need purposeful, airtight pacing. Part 1. Setting the cinematic scene. The script demands some highly specific aesthetic directions here. Warm, golden light, ultra-realistic cinematic 4K. The creator isn't just asking for some generic background or a shaky smartphone shot. They specifically call for a peaceful sunrise and birds flying. And why is that? Because this emotional atmosphere sets a baseline of tranquility. When you establish this level of ultra-realistic peace right away, any disruption, like, say, finding a mysterious bag of cash on the road, feels that much more impactful. The environment is literally mirroring the purity of the message that's about to unfold. And within this beautiful setting, enter our protagonist, Ahmed. The introduction uses the specific imagery of clean white clothes to visually cement his purity and innocence right from the jump. He's walking home from the mosque, which signals his strong foundation of faith before the main event even happens. The white clothes and the small cap act as an immediate visual shorthand for us. They tell us exactly who Ahmed is, where his values lie, and set him up as a character whose integrity is about to be tested. Which brings us to Part 2, a moment of temptation. Boom, this is where the story pivots. The script specifies a high-detail, cinematic close-up of Ahmed's thoughtful, realistic facial expressions as he discovers this small cloth bag, really emphasizing the psychological weight of the moment. Remember, this is an ultra-realistic 4K prompt. By demanding a close-up on his face as he sees the dates and the money, it forces us to connect intimately with his sudden temptation. It's not just a wide shot of a kid picking something up, it's an emotional tight shot of a human being realizing he's stumbled upon unexpected wealth. So we've got a classic clash here. It's the immediate physical temptation of the bag's contents against Ahmed's deep spiritual reasoning. On one side, the tangible reality, dates for hunger, money for needs. It's a super relatable human moment where he genuinely considers keeping it. But then, the other side kicks in, the spiritual reasoning. He remembers that Allah sees everything and that honesty is so deeply loved in his faith. This conflict isn't loud or explosive, right? It's entirely internal, waged quietly in the mind of a young boy on a dirt road. You can actually track this emotional shift through a beautifully choreographed 4-step progression. First, finding the bag. Second, that incredibly relatable temptation. But step 3 is the real catalyst. Remembering the Prophet's teachings provides a crystal clear moral compass. By step 4, his demeanor totally changes. The prompt specifically instructs that he closes the bag and walks back toward the mosque with confidence. The soft sunlight and realistic camera movement really elevate that sense of emotional clarity. Moving right along to Part 3, the act of honesty. The tension hits its peak here as Ahmed encounters a worried elderly man. The mosque, which started out as just the place Ahmed was walking away from, suddenly becomes the focal point of resolution. And the elderly man's worry provides the necessary human stakes. It's a great reminder that every found object has a real person missing it. Returning the bag isn't just an abstract moral good anymore. It has a direct, immediate impact on another human being's well-being. This is where the true cultural and spiritual significance really lands. The man's heartfelt dua, or prayer, becomes the actual reward for Ahmed's honesty. The prompt asks for warm, heartfelt, ultra-realistic lighting to capture this specific exchange. The tears in the man's eyes and his raised hands in prayer represent a transfer of wealth that is just infinitely greater than the dates and money in that cloth bag. Finally, we hit part 4, the ultimate spiritual reward. There's this brilliant bit of narrative mirroring here, confirming that while Ahmed walks away physically empty-handed, his internal reward is absolutely vast. Think back to the beginning. He was walking home in a peaceful sunrise. Now, he resumes that exact same journey. As the story notes, Ahmed went home with empty hands, but a heart full of peace. It's the perfect resolution to that physical versus spiritual conflict we talked about earlier. He gave up the physical item, but internally, he's completely full. Visually, the warmth just wraps around you at the end, transitioning into a cinematic 4K glowing sunset, paired with an intricate Islamic geometric background. We started with a sunrise, and we end with a glowing sunset, neatly bracketing this short story within a single visual day. The creator deliberately shifts the style from the ultra-realistic world of the village into a more abstract, elegant design space. That geometric background provides a gorgeous, culturally resonant canvas for the final message. Then, elegant golden typography delivers the definitive takeaway. Honesty brings the pleasure of Allah. It's concise, it's direct. The story doesn't leave anything open to misinterpretation. It circles right back to the central theme we established at the very beginning. This microstory used every single second, every lighting cue, and every close-up to earn the right to put this exact sentence on the screen. So, as we wrap out this explainer, I've got to ask, how can we apply Ahmed's split-second decision to our own daily lives? We all encounter moments of unexpected temptation, right? Our own little bags lying on the road. The beauty of this 50-second narrative is that it reminds us to pause, remember our core values, and look way beyond the immediate physical gain. It challenges us to ask ourselves what kind of reward we are really chasing. Keep this micro story in mind the next time you face a quiet moment of choice. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and keep seeking that heart full of peace.